Hello world, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Advanced Wars by Web Grand Strategy Cast. On today's episode, we'll be covering Day 36 of my Asia Grand Strategy campaign. But first, a Wars World news update covering everything that's happened since the last episode. So of course, following immediately after my turn on Day 35 was Cobalt Ice, who activates Sammy's double time ability to just get a little bit more movement in this rain, on this terrain, and a little bit more damage in. Almost able to take out another medium tank within infantry. 2 medium tanks down to 1 health and a 4 HP mech. That goes down. Blue Moon looks like takes over and begins to launch his own little amphibious assault. He'll be taking back these properties from Red. We'll see just how nice he is, how generous he is to Cobalt Ice in the coming turns, because those are certainly Cobalt's properties. And Red Fire eliminates the amphibious threat that Cobalt was hitting him with, resupplies and repairs his battleships, and keeps on bombarding. He's also doing a little more to secure his headquarters and his island. And that's going to take me to my turn on Day 36. So the situation we find ourselves in is quite an interesting one. Cobalt Ice, I was so damn sure was going to be gone from the game. And due to a small, minor miscalculation on Red Fire's part, well, he just wasn't able to actually capture that headquarters, and now Cobalt is still in the fight. I did eliminate virtually all of Cobalt's units from my border region, which, you know, all things considered, I feel a little more secure with, to be honest. But I decided to pull back, and we'll see just how forgiving Cobalt really is. Meanwhile, Blue Moon is continuing to consolidate his line a little bit. I think he's building up mechs where he thinks I'm weakest, and I think, honestly, a lot of his assumptions are correct, especially up in the north here. You can see he's got a small wall of mech infantry building up, and even a tank on one of these properties is just not going to be enough to hold the line against one or even several mechs attacking across the river. And of course, rather vulnerable on the other side of that river is not only, 2 or 3 excellent properties, but also a comm tower, which cannot be underestimated. And so it looks like he's got a very solid buildup of mech infantry near both of my comms towers. And I'm identifying this early, and I'm going to have something to deal with this, because I cannot have an army of mechs charging forward. They'd be able to blow their way through any armor they came across. Fortunately, I don't have too much armor here, but here, tanks on cities is what's really anchoring these points down for me. If I can't rely on that, then I don't have secure borders. You see, of course, I have the advantage over Blue Moon in terms of properties and territory and a lot of resources and unit count. But one thing that Blue Moon really does have working in his favor is that his properties are very dense. He's got excellent infrastructure all throughout. He's got excellent terrain. He does not have a large surface area to defend. I've got 2 massive borders with 2 different players, whereas Cobalt really only has this 1 large border. He can just focus all his land units on me and all his sea units on Red. And, the 2 really don't necessarily affect each other too much, so he can be holding me off on one end and still fighting the fight with Red over here. And Red, of course, well, I do feel a little bad since we are essentially ganging up on him 3 versus 1, but in this scenario, he's got the island HQ, and this is not something that any of us really want to have to deal with, especially not individually. I know myself, I'm thinking I could be trying to crush one or both of these players, Blue Moon and Cobalt, but I do not want to be stuck trying to mop up Red off the rest of the mainland by myself, and then have to assault him across the sea by myself. So I do think, in some regards, because of that, it is within my best interest to just try to maintain the peace for as long as possible until Red is no longer a threat. So going into this turn, now that these guys are healed up, let's get them back into holding positions. You pull there. for repairs. You heal up there. I have an idea for you. You've got 1 fuel left. That's all you need. Head down there and supply. There we go. Now this APC is resupplied. Beautiful. This mech for now, we can hold you there, and we can hold you there. And these are good defensive positions again, and this will allow me to rotate out and heal and repair my troops. So let's do that. Let's also do this and join up to 10 right there. Perfect. Man, I should do some kind of Advanced Wars ASMR kind of thing where I just have units that join together that perfectly add up to 10. And it's a whole line of them. It's just a whole bunch of them doing it all at once. Boy, wouldn't that be crazy. Again, I gotta keep these troop rotations going down here. I think you come along this way. And because I'm so near the unit cap, I think it actually might not be a bad call if I start having units repair, even on my factories. If I'm at the unit cap and I just can't build any more units, I might as well maximize my repairs. I have the income to do it. It does give me a significant advantage over my opponents in being able to do that. Plus, I seem to be handling the logistics of it all far better than anyone else. So that really does allow me to utilize this massive number of properties to keep my units constantly topped off. Okay, over here, let's rotate these units out, because unfortunately units do not repair on a comm tower. I feel comfortable leaving it uncovered for a turn because there's really nothing that could threaten it to significantly within 1 turn. With the caveat being this tank is going to park red on top of it next turn. Actually, let's stick you on top of this comm tower now. And rotate everyone like that. Then you can all get your repairs in while I have 10s hold the line. And I can even move you into, that's a better position, back into that spot. 1 space forward, and I can actually rotate him into this forest here. That's not quite as good coverage in the front, you know. This space here is a little exposed now, which is going to expose the flank of this tank. But what it does do is it opens up this city for repairs now. More repairs over there. You hold there, you'll be up to 10 next turn. And then it'll be your turn. And then we will begin to cycle you for heals next turn. And then you hold this flank of the comm tower, and then you move into position there. And let's even develop you further towards that river, because I do think this is going to be potentially the next hotspot. It's rather difficult for me to hold this area if I get pushed up in the middle. These 2 sides are good at supporting each other, but if this bridge gets cut, then they're kind of on their own, and again, I have this infrastructure problem. I have one very narrow pathway that I can deliver troops to the fight, and not a whole lot of factories to even produce units should I need them. Let's have you there. We'll have some more 10 HP units on the front. Alright, let's get you up to 10, so we have a 10 in this forest, and then you take his spot there. So Blue Moon doesn't get any ideas and try to take that for himself. Let's continue to get these guys forward as well. Okay, let's get your repairs up, of course. Just plop you right on in there. I've got this nice flush Tetris line. Alright, let's develop you back into position forward. And have you get your repairs back up to 10. Okay, let's get you there, but we'll take a pit stop here for some repairs. Okay, let's get you up to 10. Get you there. You join. Up to 10. You hold the line there. You move that direction. You fill in. Join. You fill in right behind them. Bam! Now, are those lines consolidated or what? We need you up at the front as soon as possible. You too. So normally I consider APCs to be the absolute lowest priority for repairs, if I even bother to repair them at all. Especially in a map like this with two Drakes who are going to be constantly using their Typhoon ability. Well, guess what? An APC can get down to 1 health, just like any unit, off of Typhoon, but Typhoon can actually destroy it. It will just take it down to 1 health. And seeing as APCs are units that I usually don't want to be seeing combat anyways, who cares if it's at 1 hit point? So at that point, once it's down to 1 hit point, it's actually in a way like more effective against the Typhoon than if I keep it repaired, right? Because it just can't be affected by the Typhoon at that point, and I'm not losing any more unit value or anything like that. But I think I have enough cash at the moment that just having an APC, a high health APC, might be good because I could use it almost to barricade. You know, if I just wanted to put a 10 HP armored unit anywhere I wanted to hold the line and buy me another turn or two, or just something like that, I think that APC actually could come in handy. So I will start working those up. Now I've got a real cunning plan, a real devious idea on what to do with this lander, this mech, and this rocket. So I have a couple ideas, but I won't actually reveal what that is until I put it into action next turn. Leave a comment down below what you think it is. I want to know if what I'm doing is obvious or not, or if it's actually kind of a good idea. So leave a comment down below saying what you think it is I'm going to be doing. And I think that'll be really interesting to see. But yeah, what am I going to be doing with this lander, this mech, and this rocket? Yeah, and I think up here I will have this unit repair on a factory. So down here with my Southern Sea Fleet, by coming out in a straight line like this and just continuing to head east, I've been hoping to hide my intentions for maybe another turn or two. And this might just be the last turn I can try to play this game. So with just enough fuel just about to get there, I am actually going to race forward and capture this territory before Blue Moon can. With this submarine, I will move it out to this point, and we will actually hide. And hopefully, he will be confused as to whether I'm going north or south. So I'll have you come up behind this submarine and actually repair it and refuel it, which will be very nice, as it is currently submerged. And then I will develop the submarine out as well. Gotta be careful not to hit that unhide button. Here, this battleship will then move forward, and I can repair the battleship. Black boat. And this black boat can come forward and repair this battleship as such, and at least we're back up to 8 HP. Port cruisers. Alright, now let us continue to sail you ahead. And the cruiser alongside. And with all my orders taken care of, that's just going to lead me to production. Now what to do with these infantry on these ports, and then what to do with these ports. You can see I have got a decent chunk of cash this turn, even after all my repairs. I'm still above 80,000, and I am going to have that continuous income of 56. But what to do with it all? So I'll move this guy a step forward, get him out of the way, cover at least one of the sides of my port here. And I thought a lot about it, and I want to be prudent. I want to make a wise decision. That being said, you know what? Maybe I want to make a power play. I think I need to make a power play. What I need to do right now is just throw down a battleship so I can have a fleet of my own to fight off red. But I think this is a very powerful position, a very powerful port to be starting from. This is a great defensive position. It's going to give me coverage of everywhere. I mean, just look at that. I can develop it into one of these reefs, which is going to be not only a nice little cover bonus for my battleship, but a nice position to engage from. But also, guess what? I am Lash, so that defensive bonus is also going to equate to an equal offensive bonus. So if I can just have 1 or 2 battleships in position in the mouth of this basin, I can probably really hold off several times my number, especially if I can get some submarine support, because I can send my subs out to engage anyone who wants to try to fight with me at sea here. You know, maybe that's Blue Moon, you know, theoretically, maybe not. But I also don't have to worry about sub attack from any direction other than directly in front of me. So that really wouldn't be too difficult to guard from. And you know what? I do want to keep a unit in the city here to garrison it and protect it from any sort of assault across the river. But at this point in the match, I'm just not sure a tank is going to cut it anymore. That, and with all the damn typhoons that have been going on around here, I need something that can move fast. So what's tough and fast and would make for a perfect city garrison right there? Bam, son, we are talking about a Neo tank. I'm not afraid to drop 22 G's on one, put it right on this city here, because he could have 1, 2, 3, he could have more than 3 mechs firing on a Neo tank. You know what, let's run the numbers. Jamie, pull up the calculator. Okay, so let's select we got a 10 hit point mech right there, and he's, okay, what if he attacks the tank? Okay, he's gonna deal 45 points of damage. Alright. Okay, at 10 hit points he'd deal 4, but that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is a Neo tank. Yeah, so he's going to deal 11 to 17 points of damage per mechanized infantry. He could have 8 or 9 mechs and still not take out my Neo tank. Beautiful. And look, even though Papa Dog, alright, is a big player and he ain't afraid to put down a battleship and a Neo tank in one turn, but I am also a humble and prudent man who is not afraid to put down a couple of units of infantry. So thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Advanced Wars by Web Grand Strategy Cast. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming on back to us. We're so glad you enjoy it. And hey, if this is your first time watching something like this and this seems kind of like your jam, then maybe consider subscribing so you can see a little bit more of us. Leave a comment, click the like button, you know. And hey, if this sort of thing floats your boat, then check out some of these other videos that I've made, including my entire Grand Strategy Cast playlist. Alrighty, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.